Hey buddy! Yeah, this week I decided not to be as creepy, but don't worry, next week I'll try my best to be as weird as possible. This week's topic was pretty hard to think about, because this is a longer video than usual, and there have been people who have been wanting me to talk about RWBY. I think it's a good idea, but the reason I'm not doing it yet is because I know some people don't like that show, and I wouldn't want to spend a long video talking about something that people don't like. You know, I don't like to exclude people. So, I guess if you would want to hear about RWBY, or if you don't mind about hearing about RWBY, about my opinions on it, about... Someone asked me about my OCs of it, and I do have some, yes. So yeah, let me know what you think. And if you're good with that, let me know if you would like to hear me kind of talk about Naruto. Yes, Naruto. Since Boruto has been coming out, I have a lot of thoughts on Naruto lately that I would love to talk about. I have a lot of... Even though I like Naruto, and I like Boruto just fine, the show anyway, there are things that I would like to talk about concerning it, and I have a lot to say about it, so just let me know what you think. If you don't like Naruto, and if you don't like RWBY, don't be afraid to tell me that it's just, ugh, I don't want to hear about that. I don't really mind, you're not insulting me. So don't worry about it. Anyway, I had to think about some sort of topic that I could talk about this week, but first of all, let me ask you a few questions. How you doing? I just finished eating some tortilla chips with salsa and a beverage. A nice carbonated beverage. Finished my food just before starting this video's recording. I hope it's not too clear by my voice. But this beverage is certainly helping. It's not gone yet, I'm still drinking it. Because it is very hot out today. It got up to 84 where I live, and I was at my friend's house at the beginning of the day. And when I went out to my car to drive home, you know how cars can just soak in all that heat and make it torture to drive when you first get in it? Yeah, since my house isn't that far away, the car didn't have a chance to cool down. That, and I didn't turn the AC on. I don't really know how to work the AC in that car. So I just used the window, which, funnily enough, is a roll-down window, so that probably explains why I can't figure out how to control the air conditioner. It's kind of fun doing the rolling window, but it also is a bit of a pain. It's fun because it's different, but it's also a pain because it takes a long time, and it's kind of awkward rolling your arm back and forth in a car where there's not much room to roll. Have you ever owned a car like that? I believe the one here is a 2002 or 2003 Kia, but I'm not positive. I could have that number all wrong. Might be thinking about a different vehicle I've driven over the years, but I do know this one's a Kia. I know because I noticed it on the keys today. Oh, also a funny little thing that happened yesterday was I went out to go to my friend's house, and once I got in the car, I realized, as I put the key up to the ignition, that it was not the right key. So I had to go all the way back inside to get the right key. It was a bit of a nuisance and kind of embarrassing because I just said goodbye to my mom, who was still sitting on the couch. I come back in, she looks at me funny, and I just go, "This is the right one." She laughed, though I kind of wish she didn't, and then I finally went to my friend's house. We hung out, and actually, funny thing is, they recently got their Wi-Fi back, so I had the joy of watching RWBY Season 4 again! Funny how it all turned around back to RWBY. We also watched RWBY Chibi, which was a good change from Season 4's finale. I told myself I wouldn't talk about RWBY, I am sorry. Anyway, yes, I'm just kind of saying a bunch of random things to fill up this time. This is the longest these videos have gotten. Oh, speaking of these videos, I should tell you how JU's coming along. The thing I'm working on here is an animation from Scene 2 of Jaden Unshaken Episode 1. This character is called Angie. I'm pretty proud of how this particular animation came out. It took me a good 2 hours or so. Which is also why this recording is so long. I sped up the work as much as I could, but it wouldn't get any faster than this, and if I did try to make it any faster, I'm sure it would be unwatchable. I guess I'll talk a little bit about my goals for this year. I want to finish Scene 2's line art by May 12th. I want to finish Scene 2 entirely by May 25th. And I want to finish the entire episode by my birthday, which is in November. So, those are my main goals. I kind of gave myself some legroom because I know I get busy over the summers, which I should probably let you know. over the summer, I do like to go outside a lot. So, progress will be a lot slower for those months. And since it's starting to get legitimately warmer for longer periods of time, the summer outdoors may be calling my name very soon. It's not like I go out too much, in the summer, it's my favorite season, so I like to spend as much time as I can doing things that I like to do. I like to swim, I like to have a little fire pit, maybe grill some things, sit out in the sun and read a book. Those are my general hobbies in the summer. I will try to make as much progress as I can on Jaden Unshaken. I really need to get out there and do things. I've been feeling very cramped up lately. It's been making me feel antsy, making me a bit jittery, that kind of thing. I know a lot of people like the fall, because it seems to be everyone's perfect temperature along with their favorite holiday, which I don't really like Halloween myself. I know a lot of my friends and a lot of people around me seem to really enjoy it. I just never really got into it. Darkness has never really been my type of thing, which also came to my attention when I thought about how I don't really have any favorite villains. I mean, if you are familiar with the show Once Upon a Time, which has a bunch of fairy tale characters, my favorite character in that is a villain, but it's a villain who turns good. So I just feel a lot for the people who try really hard and do their best to be their best. That character has gone through a lot, and while they've done some horrible things, I think they can be forgiven if they try their best. I'm being a bit vague here because I know there are some people who like to watch the show, and if you're not that far into season 1 or 2, then that might be a spoiler. I don't really know, I haven't watched it in a while. I'm still on season 5, I'm about halfway through. But anyway, that makes me think, what's your favorite show? Is there specifically a live-action show that you really like? I do have a long list of shows that I like. My favorite genre is probably around fantasy and action, but I do like having that cool factor of superpowers, which might be pretty evident by Jaden Unshaken's premise, which some people might not be familiar with. Let me know if you want me to talk about Jaden Unshaken. I know I'm asking again, but I'm a bit desperate for topics, so let me know. Anyway, I also like crime shows. I really like watching true crime documentaries, and I even like those CSI type of shows. It doesn't have to be CSI in particular. I did like NCSI back in the day, but yeah, law, crime, and all that stuff really interests me for some reason. I would implement those themes better into my shows, but I find it a bit difficult. Even though I have a lot of inspirations to take from, because I watch a lot of those shows, I just don't think I would be able to keep up with a series that is an animated type of CSI thing. I don't know. The thing I don't like really about those shows is the overarching story, but if I had to make an animation or a comic about those kinds of shows, I would need an overarching story, so I guess I understand why they have it. It's just, I don't like it usually, because it's like, oh, there's a big bad guy, and they've been singling out this detective. I don't know, that always seems so far-fetched to me. Even though I'm sure it has happened before and I'm sure it's common, I just don't enjoy watching it in a show. It's kind of an unnecessary drama added. But wow, I've certainly talked a long time about nothing here. I did mention earlier that I had a story that I wanted to get to in this video. Oh my goodness, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a frog out there. I can hear a croak. I wish I could go find it. But anyway, this is a story about me witnessing an event in an RP. One day about a year ago, I being fresh out of a different roleplay that had been consuming my life, so I went out to see what kind of site I could join. And I did find one. I found one and joined it, and I went to find some good RPs. Unfortunately, there weren't many. Even though there were a lot of RPs, there weren't many good ones. But there was one that I managed to read through. It was about this gaggle of characters all appearing on an island. None of them knew how they got there, they just kind of appeared on the beach or in the forest surrounding the beach or something like that. A lot of the characters were pretty interesting in their own ways. One could move objects without the will of the object, so, as you may be able to guess, they were quite the source of action in this roleplay. There were a few other characters who could do other things. I can't really remember much because it has been a year. But there was one good character. She was an elf, and she had just been in a war when she was teleported to the island. She was quite concerned for her people. She had a bow and arrow, she wasn't overpowered. She was just all around normal. She was basically the only normal in a large group of very, very powerful people. This bunch of powerful people decided it would be fun to gang up on this character and bully her, but it's not like they were bullying the person behind it. The person didn't seem upset or anything. I think it was just them trying to have fun and show off their powers. But the character herself did get injured. And I was reading so sympathetically for that character that I decided I would make a savior for that character. So I designed a character that would specifically be immune to the things the other characters could do. Not like over-immune to everything, like, oh, this character is invincible. No. I made my character able to use fire and heal. I can't really remember what else that character could do, but I remember she was fully covered in armor because I didn't want one of the characters being able to cut me up, because I believe one did cut the elf girl. Oh, I didn't tell you the best part about when they bullied the elf girl. You remember that person I said had telekinesis and didn't even need the permission of your character to do something? Well, that person used telekinesis to raise that poor elf girl off the ground and spin her around, break her weapon, and generally just make her throw up. I believe she did actually throw up, that character. I think that was the tipping point for when I knew I had to save her. So I went in and designed my character. I joined the RP very quickly. My character, being new and all, was also pretty disoriented from just appearing in the middle of the woods. And since everyone else was pulling out random crap from their hat, I decided that my character would be able to track the elf girl's footprints. It didn't take long for my character to catch up with the elf girl. And of course, at first, the elf girl was a bit concerned, because everyone just seemed to like to beat her up, but I assured her, through my character's voice, that, hello, I'm here, and I need help, where's everything, and I can heal you, basically was what happened there. She was pretty happy to see someone who finally wasn't out for her blood, and came down from the tree she was hiding in. My character offered to heal her, but I believe her character actually denied the help. I can't remember exactly, but I remember that she was basically fine at that point. After I did those few messages back and forth, I basically just dropped out of the RP, as did the elf girl. The elf girl actually hadn't posted until she had gotten up into the tree. I believe she was trying to drop the RP, but I just couldn't go without helping that girl. It's a pretty funny memory that I have, and I will probably treasure it for as long as my brain retains the information. Well, I think I've talked enough now. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if anything in this video made any sense, and if you have any questions, please leave them below. Tell me how your day's been, and what you hope to accomplish in the future. I'd love to read it. I can still hear that frog, but it's too late for me to go out and explore. I wish I could see you, little buddy. Anyway, thank you for giving me the honor of talking nonsense to you. I really enjoyed it. I'll talk to you next time. Have a good day.